Something to Stand For is the new film starring and written by Mike Rowe. It's coming to theaters on June 27th. Mike, thank you so much for your time today.
Anytime, Rudy. Good to see you again.
Great to see you. You're taking us around the DC area with some never before heard stories about some of the biggest moments in history.
That's the idea. The film is actually 9 short stories. They're mysteries where you get to learn something that you didn't know about somebody that you do. It's based on the old Paul Harvey radio show called The Rest of the Story, except these stories have been brought to life for the big screen, and they're stitched together by me with a trip to the National Mall, where I visit some of the statuary and the monuments and the memorials that were built to honor the people in the movie.
There's also an incredible moment, that was unscripted and unplanned with a 91-year-old that you happened to meet while you were filming a stand-up.
Yeah, I love that moment. Most of my career, Rudy, has been based on unscripted moments. That's what Dirty Jobs was, one giant unscripted romp through a sewer. Movies are different. Movies are very deliberate. They're intentional. They're scripted. Everything is just so. But in the course of filming the thing, I did have a couple encounters. One with a park ranger who was cleaning up the graffiti off the National Mall, which I thought was really powerful. And the other one with a guy named Andy Michael, 91 years old, a Korean war vet, visiting the World War II memorial on an honor flight with his family and with some volunteers. Super special moment, completely random encounter, proving once again that, sometimes real life is better than any script you can hope to write.
You talk a little bit about Dirty Jobs, and especially the last season, when you find people who are so passionate about their industry or their particular job, and it makes you have a deeper appreciation because of their dedication. And I feel like that is really truly the message of what you're bringing across in this film too. Just these people you may not understand, and you may hear these titles or these industries, but you really get a deeper appreciation for what they've done.
Well, look, I think at its heart, that's what Independence Day is, right? It's tapping the country on the shoulder and saying, look, we need to appreciate what these people did who came before us, but you can't appreciate what you don't understand. And so showing people, the workers, for instance, in Dirty Jobs, going into the sewers, going into the places that are out of sight and out of mind, is really not too different than going back into history to reintroduce some people that you've heard of in a different way. So you can have a better understanding of what they did that's benefiting all of us today, and therefore a better appreciation for the past that we all share. That's the point of the movie. First and foremost, to entertain, but also to remind people that everything we have today came at a price, and it was pretty steep.
Politics and patriotism are two different things, and sometimes the lines get blurred, especially in this 2024 era that we're living in now. But talk a little bit about the importance of this film, of maybe separating the two and letting people just being able to see these industries, getting to hear these stories that you brought to the film.
Well, true patriotism is the ultimate thing that can unite us. Tip O'Neill and Ronald Reagan used to fight like dogs during the day, and then they'd go out and have a steak at night because they didn't see themselves as Republicans or Democrats first and foremost. First and foremost, they saw themselves as Americans. And we need to get back to that. And in order to do that, I think we have to be able to agree on a certain number of basic things. So, that's the importance of patriotism. And when you conflate it with politics, you make it impossible for both sides to share equally in the things that made us great. And it's really just that simple. And you're right, Rudy. If you look back, every reliable poll taken in 1998 showed 71% of Americans describe themselves as extremely patriotic. That number today is 39%. And it's half of that for Americans under 30. So it's easy to see that patriotism is on the ropes. What's not so easy to understand is what's going to happen to us if we don't turn that around. But I'm pretty sure the answer is nothing good. So my hope is that we can all agree there's still a few things worth standing for on July 4th.
Oh, exactly. You mentioned Ronald Reagan. I believe there is a good story about Ronald Reagan that's going to be in this film as well, too. Is that correct?
There is, and you'll be surprised by it, and you won't figure it out until the end. That's the fun of all of the stories, right? They're designed to tell you something you did not know about somebody you do. And you know what? I mean, that's the story of all of our lives, right? I mean, we're complicated people. I'm sure Rudy's past is filled with all kinds of fascinating moments that no one knows, you know?
Oh, look, we're out of time.
Yeah. Well, get super famous and I'll put you in a movie. It'll be fun.
There you go. Mike, thank you so much for your time today. Something to stand for in theaters June 27th.
Thanks, Rudy. Oh, and your guys can check out a trailer. It's awesome at somethingtostandfor.movie. Your ticket's there too.
Awesome. You're the best. Thank you so much for your time today.
Anytime.